So it's about 40 grand in total?
Correct.
Over the space of a month?
Yep.
Of what happened. So you can go on your go home, but do the right thing. You seem like an upstanding guy. You already did your thing upstairs. It sucks. You might be going through some personal stuff. We all do. But I tell people this ain't going away until we handle it. And by handling, you need to, do the right thing. They're gonna eventually find you anyway. It's better to turn yourself in and explain your side of the story because it works out better. It might be more lenient for you.
There's an arrest warrant out for you right now.
On the 8th of October 2025, officers responded to a target in Boca Raton, Florida, after store investigators uncovered a major internal theft. The suspect, Abdul Ahmed, a 5-month employee who had been granted access to the store's cash office.
What's your title?
I'm the APTL, so Asset Protection Team Leader. And then I also have another manager from a different store upstairs. She's 1 level higher than me, and she has to conduct the interview.
Okay. What's your phone number? Asset protection. Alright. Cool. You have his information, I assume?
He's upstairs. They just brought him into the office to start talking to him.
Okay.
We gave the dispatcher his date of birth.
What's the
Over a
timeline?
month.
Only from this store? You said it's about 40 grand in total?
Correct.
Over the space of a month?
Yep.
Okay. I assume you guys have like all the video in there? And...
Yeah, we downloaded the whole month's worth of video. Every day that he closed and any day that he went into the cash office, we went ahead and put it into a report. And we can give that to you guys.
Yeah. You guys ever taken a report with us before? If I send you a link?
Yeah, Axon link.
Yeah,
I'll be able to send it right over.
I figured. At that.
So this is the district manager
Okay.
for AP. We have the deputies here from PBSO. So I guess the thing is that you guys said you're not going to arrest
Yeah, I
him?
can speak.
Oh, here, hold on. They're going to talk to you real quick. Hold on.
Hey, sir. I'm Deputy Johnson with the Sheriff's Office. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I spoke with your LP officer, and he gave me the information. And with that, our procedure is to call our detective bureau due to the threshold of the theft and apparently $40,000 being taken care of. After speaking with him, he said you guys can do your interview and termination, and we'll get his information, the LP's information, and we're going to forward it up to our detective bureau. And tomorrow morning, they're going to give a call, and they're going to do their own investigation.
Got it.
Okay.
We've just never had that happen. Usually.
Yeah, I would love to make the I would love to make the arrest, but our procedure is to call the detective bureau, and with that I did, and he told me to go this route, so that's where we're at. And that's a sergeant with the our detective bureau.
Got it.
It's not that it's not going to be investigated. You guys can still trespass him and everything. We're going to have all his information. We just want to get all our ducks in a row, and with all the videos, because over the span of a month. So the detective bureau would handle that and make sure the PC fits the $40,000 in each time, and the days corroborate along with the money being taken.
So, because normally, like with any type of theft, we have all the video of him doing it.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I completely, but that's where we're at right now with the my supervisor in the detective bureau. That's what he's advising to
The
do.
last couple of days, it was like a couple $1,000 that we saw him live doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you have all his videos already?
Yeah, we have all this stuff. Like I was in the middle of right now starting up, but before we even get to this point, we have like all video. We have HQ is the one that actually found out the stuff, so that's all through reporting because it's through cash office, so it's literally all logged. Like
Are they
there's no.
categorized by date? In the
Yeah,
account?
all by.
Did you tell them about BSO's investigation? Like, I'm afraid that he's not. No one's gonna find him after this. It's almost $100,000.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have?
We're gonna show him the last couple days worth of the money that he was taking because we have it online.
I mean, yeah, it's multiple thousands of dollars from the past few days, like live clear concealment. So.
Yeah.
Do you know where he lives?
He lives in I don't know, somewhere in Deerfield.
Okay, we do have task force that work along with.
Yeah,
with
it's just
Barrett.
that normally we've been doing it. Like we've
Yeah.
never had this issue where they're not like
But we never had an issue where it's $40,000 either.
Yeah,
That's
but
the problem we have.
even taking off the 40,000 just in the last couple days was a couple thousand that we have clear of. So
Added
it's
onto the 40, or that's part of the 40?
that's part of the 40.
Okay, but are they categorized
Yeah,
by
we have-
date,
Yes,
amount of money,
date, amount of money.
times?
We have timestamps.
Let me
we have-
call him back. Do you have it all time stamped and
We have
with
everything
that?
in folders. It's an
Okay,
open OneDrive.
well,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
We'll take a look at that.
I don't want to have to call you, so I guess you can post it.
Okay. I'll do that.
All right, and then I guess let me know when the interview started.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, so let me.
Yeah, so configure everything, and once they realized that, we were able to put the camera perfectly to see him concealing into his booth, concealing into his.
Do you understand where we're coming from, okay? If it was during the day, the DPR is highly accessible.
Yeah.
They would come out to this. I just spoke to the supervisor again. This is a road patrol issue to a point, okay? This is a lengthy investigation. This is over dates and times. This is sitting down for multiple hours. It's not on your part. It's on the detective pros, because they got to review their videos. They got to write each day and time, each increment, and that takes a while. If listen, we have task force. That's a felony warrant. He will be picked up, okay?
Right. So then, even if we're going based off of what we were able to see yesterday, that was like 1,000.
Yeah, but they don't want to arrest him on just that one theft. They wanted to arrest him on the $40,000 because there's a threshold of theft. It goes up.
Yeah.
Once it's above 20,
Yeah,
less than
I'm
50
just-
becomes a first degree
I get.
felony.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just
So
trying to figure out because.
no, he just wants to get basically a statement.
Statement from.
Yeah, over what happened. We'll get his information.
You want to speak into homeboy upstairs?
No,
Yeah, this is the he's.
no.
Yeah, but if he lives in Broward, I mean, BSO
I
has
mean, if
Viper.
we don't even know
Our
if
task
that's
force
his
works
role.
with Viper. I mean, it's.
Maybe you find him, maybe not.
At the
I'm
end of the-
thinking if I'm caught for 40,000, I'm leaving. You're not gonna find me.
Well, at the end of the day,
So.
the money's not. I mean, I don't think you're going to be, you're not going to get the money back.
No, it's not
It's
about
mainly
that.
just him, getting what he deserves, which is jail time and being charged. But I mean, I wouldn't worry about them not finding him.
Yeah, it's just.
And it's got to be
Hold on, I'm
filed
just
with the
gonna-
state attorney's office, and so
This is from yesterday.
Under Florida Statute Section 8, 12.014, grand theft, theft of property, valued at $20,000 or more constitutes a first-degree felony. The threshold matters. Charging on the full $41,000 rather than any single incident determines the felony degree and sentencing exposure. Florida Statute Section 8, 17.034 governs organized scheme to defraud. A separate felony triggered when a pattern of theft exceeds $50,000. Ahmed faces both charges. The distinction is important. Grand theft covers the taking. Organized scheme addresses the deliberate, systematic pattern of concealment and repetition. Under the Fourth Amendment, the officer's decision not to arrest at the store was constitutionally sound. Probable cause existed, but probable cause alone does not require immediate arrest. In United States v. Watson, decided in 1976, the Supreme Court confirmed that officers have discretion in executing warrantless arrests for felonies committed outside their presence. The Detective Bureau's preference to build a comprehensive case before arrest, aggregating all $41,000 across multiple incidents, is a recognized investigative strategy. This approach maximizes charge severity, reduces prosecutorial risk, and ensures the state attorney's office receives a file strong enough to survive a probable cause challenge at first appearance. The officer's advisement to Ahmed that cooperation would be beneficial and that an arrest warrant was forthcoming does not constitute a Miranda violation. Ahmed was not in custody. Under Berkemer v. McCarty, decided in 1984, Miranda warnings are required only upon custodial interrogation. A consensual walkout is not custody. Ahmed's voluntary statement that he was dealing with financial problems and knowingly took the money constitutes an unsolicited admission, admissible without Miranda warnings. The Fifth Amendment's self-incrimination protection applies only to compelled testimony. Ahmed was not compelled, he spoke voluntarily. His admission significantly strengthens the prosecution's case. The covert surveillance operation inside the cash office warrants Fourth Amendment analysis. Employees have a diminished expectation of privacy in employer-monitored cash handling areas. In O'Connor v. Ortega, decided in 1987, The Supreme Court held that workplace searches by employers are evaluated under a reasonableness standard, not the full warrant requirement. Target's installation of covert cameras in the cash office, a security-sensitive area where employees were on notice of monitoring, is legally defensible under this standard. The evidence chain here is unusually strong. Time-stamped video footage, matched against register shortage records, corroborated by Ahmed's own admission. This is the architecture of a prosecutable case.
You'll see him fold bills in his hand, and then he slides them into his right pocket.
And this is at the end of the day when you're entering the cash register?
This was the middle of the day, at like 3:30 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
And then he does that about 3 different times.
But I mean, this process is when you're emptying cash registers and taking an account of...
Pretty much, yeah. You collect the bags out of the registers and all the cash, you bring it in here,
Okay.
you put it in the recycler, count it out, and then all the bags go into the safe.
Okay.
And vice versa.
Yeah, I never worked in a retail place, so I just, don't know the process.
No problem. So this is his legal first name.
Oh. How do you say that?
Abdul Kader.
Abdul Kader. And then if you have it here, can you just give me first date that he took something and then the last date so I can get a good timeline from the detectives?
It's going to be 9/9 was the first time we had him doing it on video, and then...
You're just gonna identify him.
You have a driver's license on you?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Want to turn him real quick? Sorry, she's just gonna say her little spiel. Just
Okay,
take it
go
out.
ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, Abdul. Unfortunately, we have to term you for gross misconduct for stuff. At this time, if you could just give us everything that belongs to you, your keys, your name badge, anything else that you may have that belongs to us as well.
Oh, just sorry. You just gotta sign here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then after, you could get your belongings in your office area.
Oh no. It's just right there. No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Just there you go. Date right there. You're good. Thank you. Okay. And then perfect. Thank you. They're just gonna you ID'd him?
Yeah, I'm not detaining you or anything. I'm just walking you out, and I'm not doing an investigation as of now. So,
Okay. All right.
but don't be fooled. There will be an investigation.
Oh no, I understand.
Yeah, 'cause it is what it is. I got you, brother. So I'm just verifying you leave without any kind of disturbance.
Thank you. Can I just ask one question?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Would I be able to call Mark?
Mark.
ABP Mark or?
What do you go by? What's your first name?
Abdul.
Abdul. Okay. I think we're gonna go left. Go this way. Can you come this way, please? Thank you.
Tom?
He's right here. Abdul. Yeah, we're right. Listen, I'm not detaining you. You're quite cooperative. We're just here a while, okay? There will be an investigation. It's a decent amount of money. I don't know about it. I'm not going to answer any questions about it. If you want to facilitate an interview with our detectives, I can give you a number because they're going to want to reach out to you. And I don't want
More
them.
so a place. That's all I want.
What's that?
I want more so like something I can do in order to like compensate for that.
Okay, then you know
That's
what?
all it is.
It would be beneficial for you to speak with the detective tomorrow, and they can mend the ways. Because right now, they don't want to talk to you about it. With the detective, they can facilitate that and make it easier, and probably make it easier on the long run. So I will give you a number. Do you have that business card? All right, this is a sergeant. Okay, he's aware of what's going on already. It will be beneficial for you to call him tomorrow and speak with him and work things out. Try to mend ways or help you out in a better way, but. We need to come to an understanding of what happened. I'm not here to detain you or ask you any questions, of what happened. So you can go on go home, but do the right thing. You seem like an upstanding guy. You already did your thing upstairs. It sucks. You might be going through some personal stuff. We all do. But I tell people, this ain't going away until we handle it. And by handling, you need to, do the right thing. They're going to eventually find you anyway. It's better to turn yourself in and explain your side of the story because it works out better. It might be more lenient for you in the long run with the judges and going through the process. So I'm not telling you what to do. You do you. But
I understand.
Big guy.
Come on, buddy.
This is first Ahmed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is he here?
that's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Okay. Used to work at Target, right?
Did.
Okay, here's the deal, bro. I'm gonna try to make this work for you, okay? There's an arrest warrant out for you right now. I don't want to take you right now, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I know. Let's make it work so that you can turn yourself in for a day that's convenient for you up in Palm Beach, okay? And then you can get processed, and then once you're processed, you'll be released on a bond, okay? So it's for everything that happened at Target. So right now you're looking at 1 count of grand theft and 1 count of organized scheme to defraud. So those are both felonies.
The grades. Deputy Johnson receives an A-. His decision to defer to the Detective Bureau, rather than making an immediate arrest, reflects proper procedural deference and an understanding of charge severity thresholds. His closing advisement to Ahmed explaining that cooperation would benefit him in the long run was measured, legally accurate, and tactically effective. Ahmed's subsequent cooperation validated this approach. The minor deduction reflects a technical concern. The officer's statement that the investigation was not active at that moment could be construed as misleading, given that probable cause had already been established. Abdul Ahmed receives a D+. The admission of financial hardship while humanizing does not constitute a legal defense to grand theft or organized fraud under Florida law. His voluntary cooperation with the termination process and his expressed interest in making restitution are noted and may be considered by the court as mitigating factors at sentencing. However, the deliberate, systematic nature of the theft, concealing cash in boots and clothing across dozens of documented incidents over 5 weeks, reflects calculated criminal conduct, not a momentary lapse. The Target Asset Protection Team receives an A. Their investigation was methodical, covert surveillance, time-stamped evidence cataloged by date and amount, and a complete video record handed to law enforcement. Key takeaways. 1. Threshold charges determine sentencing exposure. Charging the aggregate $41,000 triggers first-degree felony exposure rather than a misdemeanor or lower-grade felony. 2. Voluntary admissions without custody are fully admissible. If a subject is not under arrest and speaks freely, those statements require no Miranda warning and carry full evidentiary weight. 3. Employer surveillance in cash handling areas is legally defensible. Employees in monitored, security-sensitive workplaces have a diminished expectation of privacy under O'Connor versus Ortega. 4. Strategic deferral of arrest is a legitimate investigative tool. Waiting to aggregate all incidents before charging maximizes charge severity and survivability at the state attorney's office. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to cover in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our second channel, Street Bodycam, for more police interaction and courtroom content.